Nico, 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 Nico.
Welcome to the United States of Formula One. Congratulations, Nico Hulkenberg, on your podium finish. Now your hosts, Nicky and Cookie. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to the United States of Formula One. Nicky.
Super excited, Cookie.
Oh, Silverstone. Did it deliver? Absolutely. Ridiculously delivered.
I don't even know who won.
Aspects.
I don't even know who won.
No, I don't. I do, but I don't even care. It was a great race. It had bad tire situations, crashes. I mean, absolutely everything that you can think of for a race had it in there. It was great.
We'll get into it as we move along, but it had rain.
Yeah.
And every time we have rain, we have excitement. It's pretty logical. I don't know that a true, diehard, lifelong F1 fan loves the rain. I don't know. For me, as an average fan, getting into it and starting to love it more and more, it's excitement. I mean, it just adds chaos. And when you have that, as Boogie told me, the great equalizer of rain.
Yeah.
But
your winner,
Lando Norris. And what I was saying, the great equalizer of rain, you still can't take away complete domination.
No, those two McLarens were absolutely ridiculous. Once again, finishing 30-plus seconds ahead of the next driver. So, I mean, those cars are fast.
The papayas, yeah.
Yeah, the papayas.
Yeah.
So we bring the show to you guys, Americans to get people into F1. Did have two people that I didn't make watch the race with me at the camper this weekend, but had them come and watch the race, and I think they are now diehard fans.
Yeah, some new people.
It was fun, and to have people just asking questions because they don't know and being able to answer questions for them and getting them excited. And this was the race. If you're going to watch your first F1 race ever, this was the race to do.
Yes.
So
you never invite your friends or someone that doesn't know about F1 to watch Monaco as their first race. But
it's beautiful.
You want to bring them to Silverstone, rain or shine. The rain only adds to it. I mean, you're going to get new fans. The timing of this race, the fact that the Formula One movie just came out with Brad Pitt, maybe you have new watchers. I hope they don't expect this to happen every time. I hope it does happen every time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Let's give Lando a little bit of credit. We'll get into whether that
was win, first home win. This is what he wanted. Like you said before the show, this is a dream that he's had since he was a child, and he was able to. I mean, Monaco was cool, but he said if he can turn Monaco in for this race win, he would.
Hometown,
so, it's your
hometown
home
boy.
race.
You're a little boy. You're in your karting days.
Yep.
You're just a little boy in your little cart, dreaming, just like an American kid would dream about throwing a touchdown in the Super Bowl, dreaming about winning at Silverstone. Finally does it, and he is. I believe it was the 13th British driver to win at Silverstone. So I mean, he's just putting his name on that hometown trophy. Yeah. What about your boy Max?
Old Maxi Verstappen. I mean, if you watched practice,
he looked great.
No, that car was terrible.
I was thinking qualifying.
Yeah.
Qualifying. Sorry.
That car looked absolutely horrible during practice. I was like, man, they're not gonna even get to Q3. I was like, Max will figured it out. They fixed the car only for him because Yuki's not. They only fixed the car for Max Verstappen, and he takes pole. And I mean, the guy is just the GOAT. He really is right now.
I mean, your 44th career pole.
Tying old Sebastian Vettel, who was up the previous GOAT, really.
Well, it's Hamilton in the middle.
Yeah. Well,
let's not forget about 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton.
Yes.
Very long nickname.
Well, and he's going to break Sebastian Vettel. He's going to get another pole this year. And he'll break that. He'll break that record.
Yeah. Absolutely. So getting into, you alluded to practice, qualifying. You have Verstappen on the grid, on the pole. Papaya 2-3. Not a lot of surprises there. Russell in fourth. What about your boy Alonso? I don't know why I say your boy.
I was going to say he's not my boy. So the surprise to me, again, going back to practice, is I actually texted you to on Lewis Hamilton because Lewis Hamilton has won 12 consecutive, or not one, but has been on the podium 12 consecutive times.
Another local.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Ferraris were dominating. The Ferraris looked great in practice, so I actually thought that they were going to start higher than they did.
I mean, I think fifth for Ferrari, based on where they've been, isn't a terrible start. And as we get into it, he damn near got on the podium again.
Yep. And then you get, Behrman a 10 place grid penalty, which totally, kind of screwed him. And then Antonelli from last week, a 3-place grid penalty. So he actually,
But what I like about Behrman is he finishes 8th in qualifying. He knew coming into qualifying he was going to get a 10 grid penalty from a practice penalty. He could have just said, okay, I'm going to start 20th. He still battled, got to Q3, qualifies 8th, knowing it's going to back him up to 18th. But I like a rookie coming in, holding that pace and saying, it's just reps for me. It's reps, and I'm competitive. I'm not just going to concede that I'm starting 20th.
Yeah, and then Colin Pinto. Let's just move on.
You were obsessed with this kid. You're like, get Doohead out of there. Colin Pinto's going to do so much for this team. I think it was the exact way that you spoke when you said it.
It was, and I'm disappointed. So I don't even know if he started the race, honestly.
I don't remember him even racing.
He was. The next thing I basically saw is he retired. So whatever. Retired for his last race.
He's retired from F1 altogether. The earliest, youngest to ever do it.
So Lewis Hamilton 4. Max Verstappen recovers.
Yeah.
From his spin, we'll get into later.
Big spin.
And he recovers, and the guy, he's just awesome racer. I can't even understand it.
Yeah, he worked his way back. And George Russell, huge surprise for me. 3PG, always finishing 3rd place, down in 10th. Got some points, but a point.
Yeah.
I think that's a little rough.
Alex Albon, new Carlos Sainz again. Pierre Gasly for Alpine. That is
Alpine's been
huge.
terrible.
Yep.
Dead last in the standings for him to finish 6th. Again, we're going to get into the climate and the situation there. The precipitation definitely had a key in some craziness here. But that was it, right? That was the race? There's nothing else to talk about?
I was very happy about Norris and Piastri, and I didn't even care. I was only rooting for this, basically, from halfway point.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nico Hulkenberg.
Can I just say, okay, the night before the race, I was out with my boys. We were up late. It was maybe 3 in the morning by the time we got to bed, just July 4th festivities. So I knew when I went to bed, I was like, I'm not going to get to the camper to watch with these guys.
Yeah.
Nico's starting in 19th, whatever.
Yeah.
So I get up. They slept in until after the race was over. So I'm watching it by myself. I'm dialed in because I like the rain. It was exciting from the very beginning. When he started inching his way up, and then in lap 35, when he passes Lance poop-faced Stroll to go into 3rd, I lost my shit, and then I'm panicking. I haven't been this I have not been this nervous. I'm like, I have no stake in this game. And I was so nervous for him. I'm like, something's going to happen. And then when he changed to the slicks from the intermediates, when everyone else was, I'm like, what if you just kept him on a couple more laps so you don't slide? So nervous. And he out-battles 7-time world champion. Lewis started gaining on him.
He was in DRS for, I think, 1 lap. And I was like, oh, this is not good. This is not good.
And then Nico peeled away. Next thing you know, he's 7 seconds up. I'm like, he just has to race. He can give up a little bit of time. He just has to,
The man was in the zone. He was I knew he was nervous because I texted him. Because I was like, he's got this in the bag. And he's like, there's still a lot of laps left. I was like, there's 10. But I was like, he's freaking out. I'm with his brothers. And everybody's just waiting for Nico. Like, nobody cared about anything else.
And I love that. I love that they're supporting Nico. They're supporting me through that. And that was the only reason I was disappointed. I was like, man, the one time I don't go to the camper to watch it with these guys, we could have just been bear hugging, tackling each other into the lake when Nico wins. Wins in my book.
Yep.
239 career races.
Yep. 15 years.
First effing podium.
Yep.
And it can be a little bit of a dig. You could take that as a negative. Like, it took you 14 years and 239 races to get on the podium. Look at the goddamn cars that he's been in.
Yeah.
He's in Haas, and they're like, you're in Haas, it's terrible. You know what? We're going to kick you down a little lower. He's 1 car away from a go-kart.
Yeah, a little better than that. They put in an upgrade. They gave him a lot better car the last, basically, since he's been doing good the last 4 weeks is when they got that upgrade.
Yeah.
And Bortoletto's been doing good. Again, a rookie. But so they're trying to give him a good car.
Week after week, from 5th to 8th to 9th to 3rd. I mean, the guy is just putting points together.
Yes.
And I got to be honest with you, I was screaming, I was welling up. I didn't wake up my kids somehow. They rolled down like 20 minutes later. I'm doing laundry. My heart rate's still up. Yeah. And they're like, oh, what happened in the race? And I was like, get ready for this one, boys.
Nico Hulkenberg on the podium.
Yeah.
Your brother, he's a dentist, so very very structured, told me like 3 times, like he looked at me with his dentist talk and was, I am so happy for Dan right now. I'm so happy for Dan right now.
I can see him talking that way.
It was great.
Oh, yeah, he's so supportive of everything.
I want to talk more, too. So Hulkenberg, every team that is possibly going to get on the podium, which is, 5 for sure, brings champagne just in case this happens.
Yes.
Well, they did not because they had, 2 cars. There's no way he's getting on the podium. He's starting 19th.
And you have Bortoletto and you have Kick Sauber. Like, you're not getting on the podium.
Yeah.
There's no reason to bring champagne.
Yeah. So Alpine gave all their champagne, and Mercedes actually gave all their champagne as well and handed a handwritten letter to the team so that they can celebrate a P3 finish. But, I mean, Kick Sauber first and Nico Hulkenberg's first podium. So, I mean, that was huge. Max Verstappen came over, gave him a hug. Actually, on the track, when Nico, he's like has his fist out. Even though Max had a horrible race, his race got wrecked. He was the first person to come up to him and basically said, "Hey, they both live in Monaco." He said, "I'm flying you home, and we're partying." So
I mean, Kick Sauber partied 10 times harder than McLaren.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
They had 1-2.
Yeah.
They won the race. The local hometown boy wins at home.
Yep.
Piastri 2. And everyone's just giving their champagne because Kick Sauber's like, well, we have 2 bottles to share. And Nico's like, well, I already drank both of those myself. So I don't know what you guys are going to do. I love the camaraderie. It was just heartwarming. Every story I've read, everything I saw just felt better and better.
No, and I'll give it, the announcers, of course, they had to give the props to Norris, but they could not wait to announce Hulkenberg's first podium. They swapped over quickly to show how excited. I mean, they're way more excited than McLaren because they've never experienced it before. So they did a great job on that. I saw a TikTok video today that almost made me cry of Nico's daughter like jumping, "Daddy!"
Yeah.
So it was great all around.
He has been posting so much, and then other people have been posting about it, and he's been liking it. So my Facebook, Instagram pages have been blowing up with Nico stuff, and I'm hearting all of them. I never like or heart anything except Nico stuff.
Fanboy.
And I'm like,
Nico
I'm
fanboy.
so busy hearting all this stuff. And I'm putting messages, and he's getting 1.2 million likes on this. I'm like, this guy is blowing up right now.
Yeah.
Blowing up. And he's aggressively handsome, so that doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
And
he's a good guy. Hulkenberg.
I mean, look at this radio. So tell me who's on the radio right here.
This
It's
is,
got to be an engineer? Or?
No, this is the first person that jumps on the radio, unfortunately crashed. Gabriel Bortoletto, Gabby, and just basically tells him he's an effing legend and he deserves it. He was just as excited as Nico was, or maybe even more.
I mean, Bortoletto, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
He's just looks up to this veteran. He knows he's a better racer than what his performances show because he's never been put in a great car. And he's on the radio. He's like, I'm out of the race. I probably should be back in the showers or just sitting back with the team somewhere. And he's like, I want to be the first one to talk to him. Nico, you are an effing legend. I mean, the love, oh my God. I guess we should probably talk about something other than Nico for like a couple minutes
Just
here.
a little bit.
I'm just going to look like this the whole time we do it.
Congratulations to Norris. I mean,
you love Lando.
I do,
and he's a good guy.
So
he is a good guy.
He is, and I'm happy that he won at his home track. But again, it took a lot of this spotlight. The Nico Hulkenberg took
I
a
feel
lot of
bad.
the spotlight out for I think a lot of people, because if you go on like social media, all the videos is of the Kick Sauber team cheering. champagne showers. Like, it's mainly just that. But he wins at his home track. This is what he's always wanted. So congratulations.
I kind of wish, it was different years that I wish this was like the second time he won at home, because it was definitely, he's probably a little bitter. He won't say it, but he's like, guys, give me some credit here. It's my first win at home ever.
Yep.
And everyone's just, Nico. Did you hear that on the telecast?
I did.
You just heard the engineers and his whole team just constantly chanting his name.
And Norris was happy because he wins, and he actually brings Nico Hulkenberg's helmet and puts it in the third place position. So he goes, "Hey, you forgot your helmet," and Nico looks back and goes, "What do I need that for?" And he goes, and he's like reaching for it, and Lando puts it in the spot, and he goes, "Cheers."
Yeah.
So
he just treated him like a child that had never been there before. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here all the time. You don't know. I'll just put it up here for you." Didn't make a big deal about it. Didn't like tease him.
No.
He's like, "I got that for you, buddy." The guy who wins the race is cleaning up a guy's garbage to
Here's
get
your
him
helmet.
in
Put it
place.
over here. I mean, so poor Hulkenberg has never been in that situation. Norris handled that well too. So I mean, the main reason why Norris won though is because of this 10-second penalty. Now I'm going to actually. I think without it, I still think Norris can potentially pass. Now, what do you think about this penalty from Oscar Piastri braking during the caution safety car? I mean, what do you think about it?
Okay, let's get into a little bit of negativity. It's all positive. It's Nico, it's Lando, home track, all that. This was really, other than the 5 DNFs, this was really the only negative moment of the day.
Yeah.
And it was a big one. A 10-second penalty.
For the leader.
For the leader is very, very, very rare. Like, what could you possibly be doing as the leader of the race to get a 10-second penalty? You didn't hit anyone. But I got to say, I 100% agree with it.
Okay.
He brake checked. So they're under safety car. And the only argument I'll give to Max is that Max is the king of taking off the moment the safety is done.
Yep.
And whether it looked worse than it really was, because he maybe took off at the moment that Piastri was braking as it was leaving caution, but the statistics are there. He dropped 100 miles per hour immediately in speed.
60 psi on the brake pedal. They have all these things that they can tell. I agree. There should have been a penalty, but I disagree on a 10-second penalty. I mean, you got Yuki Tsunoda got a 10-second penalty for basically crashing another car out. Max Verstappen got a penalty last year for running Lando Norris off the track, right? I mean, did he almost cause a collision? Yes. Should have been a penalty? Yes. Should have been 5 seconds? I think the max should have been 5 seconds. Now, our producer is going to say it's because it's under the safety car, and the rules are a little
That's what I was going to
rougher.
say. It's like driving through a school zone.
Yeah.
You drive through a school zone, you speed, the ticket price is a lot higher than if you're just speeding on the highway.
Yeah. So I agree and disagree because the safety car's light went out. Now, and it's the person who's in front to dictate the speed of the rest of the pack.
Right.
So was it excessive? Braking? Yes. Was the penalty excessive? I think yes. Penalty for sure. I don't think this matters. I think no matter what, Norris is going to catch up with him because he started to after it. So I think Norris wins the race either way. So
if that's the case, then what does this matter? But in Oscar's mind, that wasn't the case. So he's going to be bitter about this until he wins again. I think that it was a very valid penalty. I understand you saying apples to apples. You cause a wreck, it's 10 seconds. But you can't say that every violation this is the penalty for, because each case-by-case scenario. And as Verstappen said, whoa, mate, Jesus, he just suddenly again slows down. So it wasn't the first time that he brake checked him during this caution. And I get that he's trying to keep the brakes and the tires warm and he's shuffling with the car. But I think he was also effing with Max. I think he's brake checking him on purpose because he knows Max's strategy is to take off right when the caution's lifted. And he's hoping he can catch him and get Max to get a penalty by getting him to pass when the caution's still going on.
So, and I don't know if this came under consideration at all, and FIA is not going to say it did, but because of this, he had to back off, and this is when Oscar takes off, and Verstappen has to take off real hard, and that's why he spun out. I think that's actually the reason why he spun out is because he was going into the corner too quickly. So I don't know if that was any consideration to giving the 10-second. They're not going to say that, but it could be.
I kind of love if Piastri's messing with him with the brake checking and the taking off, cause Max to spin out. Good on Piastri because this is the best racer in the world right now, and you messed with him and made him spin out without anyone touching him.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome mind games, but your mind game lost you the race.
Yes.
I mean,
he recovered. Max recovered.
He did.
So, you know.
Fifth.
Yeah. I mean, that's
second.
I mean, he's lucky he spun and landed going the right way,
yes.
or else he would have lost even more positions.
Yes. Yeah, but he probably would have gained those back. I think he was going to finish fifth regardless. Yeah. But Piastri, was he happy about it?
Not at all. Not at all. And I don't know. He was a little. I think this is the first time. He's not an emotional guy at all. When he wins a race, he's like, "Yay, that was great."
Yeah, he's very boring. He's stoic.
Yeah. And even afterwards, he was a little whiny to me. When he was on the podium, it was like.
Yes,
I think he was a little whiny. He was upset. He was talking to Hulkenberg in the cool down room. He was upset. Hulkenberg didn't even know what happened.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you did? Why?
Hulkenberg's like, what happened? What's going on? And he's explaining. He's kind of whining. And instead of putting it all on Hulkenberg, like, hey man, great job. I don't really want to talk about it. He starts whining and whining more. And he knows it's recorded. He knows everyone can hear. Yeah. And I think he's trying to get his point across. But there's a time and a place. And he did. I will give him credit. When he got interviewed right when he got off the track. They put a mic in his face. Of course he's pissed. And he kept it together and he said, I don't want to say anything right now. I'll get fined if I do. I'll get in trouble if I do. And he just congratulated Nico. Yeah. So he's deflecting. I don't want to say anything dumb. Great on Nico.
Yeah. The only thing that I didn't like that he said was, I feel as this is an unfair penalty. They should swap spots back. I don't.
Is that what you think the team, when the team said, Oscar, I know how you feel about that. Let's talk about it once we're out of the car, as in off the air.
Yeah.
And let's talk about it one-to-one as a team closed-door meeting. Do you think that the team was referencing you think you should get the spot back, or do you think they're saying stop complaining because you're going to get fined or a penalty?
I think it's like, no. He's high emotion. He wants a spot back. He doesn't think the penalty was great. And the team is like... The team's not going to want to do that. That would piss Norris off too.
Yes.
That's his home track.
Yes.
So, they're like, let's talk about this later. We'll do this under debrief because on the radio where we have cool little features like this, it doesn't look good for the team.
And it'd be one thing if Lando was way faster than him, and after the penalty, maybe Piastri was like within DRS. Then it's like, don't battle, let him pass. But like you said, it's Lando's home track. It's his first time. He's up by over 5 seconds after he served the penalty. Why would he give you that spot back? You are the reason you're in second.
Yeah.
Because you made a mistake. We're not just going to say, oh, it's okay, and be that shitty parent that never punishes their kid. You messed up. Deal with it. If you can race and you can get that spot back, do it, but we're not giving it to you.
Second place. That's good. Look how excited Hulkenberg was for
Look how excited I am for third. I'm extremely.
More funny radio. This was
Jorge finished his 10th. It was kind of sad for me, but I actually forgot he was even in F1 while Nico was doing so well.
Yeah.
As much as I like George.
This is hilarious because it's still kind of wet, and they're debating on which tires to put on.
A couple of people have already switched from the intermediate to the slicks, and everyone who had done it
didn't look
was
good.
Fishing around the corners or had spun out. But Russell sees, he's like, dude, we're in the middle of the pack right now.
Yeah, and it's drying up too. At this point, it's drying up. It's like, when do we make that change?
You don't want to be the guy that waits so long that everyone's already changed and now you're out, but you don't want to be the one who's so... But he was... If he was in third, fourth, fifth, he would have never even had this conversation, but he's used to finishing at or close to the podium. But their response back when he said... when he says, depends how brave you want to be, we're P7. And who was it? Was the engineer?
Yeah, brave but not suicidal.
Immediately.
We're still looking to figure this out.
It was immediately that the guy on the radio had that canned. We want to be brave but not suicidal.
So Russell did say, let's take the gamble. They did.
The next lap.
They take the gamble, and it didn't work out too good.
He spun out immediately.
A little bit. So, luckily, he was able to recover, but it didn't work out. And then same with Lewis Hamilton he gets squirrely, gets passed by Leclerc. Everybody that put the tires on, the slicks, the mediums, the hards, whatever they went with, had an issue. You know who did not have an issue?
I was just going to say,
Who
not
did
everyone.
not have an issue? Nico Hulkenberg, I don't know, 9 laps left, puts on mediums.
He went when all the leaders went. I was hoping he'd stay out with intermediates for a couple more laps to gain.
Yeah, I was scared about this when he did this too.
He
I was
changed
like,
too,
yep.
and he was the only one. Now, we didn't see all the telecasts, but it was on him a lot.
Yep.
I never saw him get squirrely once.
Not
it looked like
once.
he was racing on dry roads.
No, he was in the zone. Everything got real quiet.
Is
It's from that one
Is this
movie.
the Formula One movie?
Sorry, I had to make a reference.
Boogie's favorite movie. We're talking. We got Hamilton on the screen. We're still talking about Nico. I don't care.
So it was a wet race, and so Leclerc once again. I mean, you can't see anything, and what was it? Beckett's right at Beckett's corner. He drives straight. Basically straight through the grass.
He just wanted to take a shortcut.
And it's because there's water. I think what did he say?
He said there's water that came into my visor. I couldn't see anything. So he didn't remember because they did the simulating. He's like, I think there's a turn coming up, but I can't see anything. So I'm just going to guess it's straight right here.
Yep.
It just goes straight through the grass.
Oh.
Like, maybe you want to give that thing a little cleany-uppy.
Some of the funniest parts, and actually the 2 new people that watched the race said to are these radio transmissions. Some of the things said on the radio is hilarious.
Yeah, Alonso. He
yeah.
had another great one. All the people that we lost places, they have the worst tires, or we just lose places for fun.
That's exactly what he sounds like too. I mean, he was frustrated. You know, they made the gamble for Lance when they put slicks on right before it started raining. And it paid off for him.
It did.
And it didn't for Alonso.
We haven't talked about Stroll at all, which we shouldn't.
Yep. And
But he was in third
yeah.
for a little while, actually blocking Nico and making a huge gap between McLaren and Stroll and Nico. Now, would Nico have closed that a little more than Stroll? I think so, the way that he was racing.
He was at one point, actually it was after when he put the slicks on, he had the fastest lap.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was moving.
It's wet out. People are spinning out. He has fresh slicks on, and he recorded the fastest lap at that point. I'm like, this guy, he's insane.
Done. That's why I was. That's why I knew. I was like, he is efficient. He's going to get on the podium. There's no way, unless something crazy happens and he crashes. He's getting on the podium.
Did you have any thoughts that Stroll would at all stay in third?
No, that was never a thought.
Hulkenberg gets around him, and then Verstappen comes up. He's like, oh my God. Hulkenberg had to be like, how did I get into 14th place? The only way Stroll could be in front of me is if I'm in 14th and he's in 13th.
Doesn't make any
He's like,
sense
well, let me just, excuse me, buddy, get over.
Yeah.
Like it was a freaking practice or something.
Yeah. Hulkenberg won last time.
Not one last time.
I mean, not one last time at all. No.
We
But
talked
what did he
about
say?
him. Podium. This was the engineer talking.
Hulkenberg.
Podium, P3, baby. And then he was getting emotional.
Yeah, he said
he's like, I don't think I can comprehend what's going on. And he kept saying, oh, God, oh, boy. And you could tell he was getting a little misty-eyed in there, and I just wanted to be in that car with him, holding him and crying with him.
Me too.
What?
It was great.
I just wanted to cuddle with him a little bit.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they called it master class. I mean, I understand that it can sound like they're inflating a little bit.
They're not.
But
it's kick sauber.
Who was it that came out? God, I wish I can remember. One of the racers came out and said yesterday that he's always thought Nico was a top 5 driver. He said, I'm not surprised he got on the podium. I'm surprised he did it in the car that he did. And I've always thought of him as a top 5 driver that just has never been given a top 5 car.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the most unfortunate part.
I just don't get how someone can be that steady and consistent. And he's not a huge risk taker. That's why he does so well in races like this. He's not going to take those risky turns in a dry track. But he's great at holding position. So he's got to qualify better. If he qualified better, he kind of holds where he's at. He moves up a little bit when he qualifies in 18th. He'll move up to 13th because those guys are rookies and kind of suck. But if he could get a little faster qualifying.
I think that he would have more of these. If you go back to all the races that he has come in the top 10, he has started though. I mean, you can go back. He started P17, P19. I think he came in 9th or 8th. I mean, if he can go better in qualifying and do the same thing he's doing, he'd be on the podium every week.
Yeah.
So,
But he's a veteran. And let's get into that real quick. Yeah. We didn't talk about this at all. How good he did in the rain. By far the best of any of the veterans in the rain. but the veterans in general. And it's not hard to explain, it's not hard to comprehend that the veterans do well in the rain. And look at the rookies.
Yep.
6 rookies in the race. How many finished the race?
One.
You had 5 DNFs, and all 5 were rookies. And Behrman was the only one. He was just outside the points.
Just outside.
Just outside, and we'll get into that in a second. How that affected you.
It did.
But, I mean, I think it's just like any sport. You've been there, you've done it, you've dealt with it in those situations. And the great equalizer, maybe among the veterans, it's not an equalizer among the rookies because they are spinsy monkeys.
Yes, and the last time, I mean, if it rains, we might as well just say Hulkenberg is coming in the top 10.
Every time.
That is going to happen.
I'm going to start looking at the forecast ahead of time.
That's
a good way to bet, actually.
I did look at the forecast, and I knew that it was spotty. So they thought it was going to They thought it was going to be rain for qualifying, which it did rain, but it dried quickly. And then it was like a 50-50 chance. They knew it was going to rain, it just didn't know how long or how hard. So I knew beforehand that we were going to have some rain.
You said you knew beforehand. It seems like you think you know everything.
I do.
If you know everything, how'd you do on your... Obviously, you got 3 for 3 then.
The most important, I think the hardest one is always going to be the winner.
Okay, that's what I said last week, and I got it right. You can't steal that.
Oh, you did?
But it is the hardest. I'll give you that.
Kimi Antonelli, and I did know that he had a 3-place grid penalty. Actually, we didn't when we made the picks. I just figured he was going to get a grid penalty. I mean, granted, I know we were talking about the rookies, and he did get plowed into by Isaac Hajar because it was wet, and they didn't see him damaging his car. He wasn't going to finish in the top 6 no matter what, so I was going to lose that one.
Not in the rain. None of these. So for the fact that you took 2 rookies, one to finish top 6, one top 10, had you know it was going to rain, your picks would have been completely different.
Yeah, everything could have been different.
And how did you do?
Well, Behrman, 10 place grid penalty before the race started.
Yeah.
Couldn't have known that. And he was just behind George Russell. The problem being is it's George. I knew he was in DRS zone for about 3 laps. And I'm like, it's George Russell. It's not going to pass. I'm like, that's a loss. So.
Yeah. I'll give you credit on Norris. That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty solid in picking the race winner. I went on the other papaya, had Piastri. So I'm arguing.
That penalty.
It was very valid and it should have happened, but without the penalty that I agree with, he wins. Doesn't matter. I don't know why I keep saying Sainz is going to do something.
Yeah.
This is 2 weeks in a row. He said he's going to come back. He's finally going to be in the top 6.
Yeah, he should have picked Albon again. He wasn't in the top 6, but he did finish, in the top 10.
What about Nico? Where did I have him? I had him in the top 10 again. Did he?
You had him in the top 10.
Did he finish in the top 10?
No, he sure didn't. Yes, he did. It's like if you would have, I think if you would have said just randomly, Nico Hulkenberg is going to be on the podium, I would have been like, you just win the season.
That's it.
You just win automatically.
It's an automatic win. It's like in Quidditch in Harry Potter. If you catch the snitch, you win the game. Do I say Nico? I'm not going to divulge any bets or predictions for next week, but
I mean, you gotta at this point, right?
Nico to win just every race.
I don't know about that.
No.
So the cool thing is we started this. I went, we both went 1 pick good again on the week.
Yeah. Now, again, we've been doing these bonus picks every week.
I love doing the bonus picks. And I think we're going to do those every week now.
You came up with the bonus pick, this idea. You said, here's the scenario. You take what you want. You said, will either Ferrari finish on the podium? I said yes. So you were defaulted. You didn't pick. You just got no by default. And you were right.
I was right. But at the same time, I was thinking...
I'm so glad you were right.
Yes. I was like... Because he knew that pick.
I'm so glad you were right.
Hamilton was super close. But, he could have passed him. That's a pick that he's like, I don't even care about that pick. I'm tossing it out the windows.
What about the conspiracy theory guy back here?
What?
He was talking to me. He thinks that Hamilton deliberately didn't pass Hulkenberg. Boogie said that he thought that he didn't want to steal his thunder. It was kind of rain. He didn't want to take any risks.
There's no way. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
He's at his home track, and he'd been on the podium 12 consecutive races. Hamilton wanted that 13th for his own career.
Yeah. There's no way.
There's no way.
Sorry, Boogie.
That he was just giving it. So screw you for saying that, because it almost pulls away from what Nico did
don't
a little
take
bit.
away from Nico.
I didn't
Nico killed it.
I got to be honest. I thought about this pick, and we almost put money on Hamilton to finish on the podium. And even had we done it, I would
have still bet against. Like we talked about it yesterday, I'm like, if I had $100 on it, I would have.
Do not pass.
Don't pass.
Do not pass.
I would have still
Nico.
went for Hulkenberg.
Yes.
Yep.
And I don't want to say what intrusive thoughts were going through my head while Hamilton was gaining on Nico, and I knew I had picked Hamilton based on the podium. They weren't good.
Yeah.
I just didn't want him to pass him. Let's just say that. And he didn't.
And we're going to keep doing these bonus picks.
And we're happy, aren't we, buddy? We're happy.
That's how much we like Nico. We have a picture of, or stand-up. What is that thing called even? I don't even know.
More importantly,
points.
We'll start with the top. We should start with the top, even though I don't want to. Start with the top. We close the gap a little.
I love it.
Piastri opened it up when Norris had that DNF.
Yep.
And now Norris
closed
it up a little bit.
If Norris is not dumb in Canada and just finishes the race, even where he was behind Piastri, he would be leading.
Leading or close, because Piastri only got 12 there, but I bet they're damn near tied right now, or leading.
Yep.
But I love that that's pinching up, because we'll get in the Constructors' Cup. We all know that's a foregone conclusion. But I love that internal team battle and how tight it is. I mean, you're 8 points apart halfway through the season, and you're so far ahead of everybody else. But more importantly, somebody squeaked in 10th place last week.
Now into 9th.
And now it's not just squeaked in 9th. They are firmly 14 points ahead of 10th and 9 back from 8th. They're sneaking up in there. Who is that?
Nico Hulkenberg.
Oh.
Fun little fact. Nico Hulkenberg, the last 4 races.
Super hot?
Has outscored in points Max Verstappen.
I saw that.
4 races.
It's not just like, he did better than him this race. It's over 4 races.
Yep.
More points
than Max Verstappen.
Than the 4-time defending world champion.
That's absolutely
So that
crazy.
tells you he's obviously going to win the next 4 championships.
Yes.
Logic would say.
If he keeps going, he can pass Antonelli. He can pass Albon. I think that's about as far as
Even
as
Antonelli
he
would
can
be a
get.
tough.
I know.
If he finishes 8th, I will be ecstatic. I just want him to stay in the top 10.
Stay in the top 10. That's huge for a Kicksauber driver.
This is so mentally exhausting. I'm glad there's 2 weeks off and it's a 3-week break before the next race, because he's going to be in such celebration mode. He needs to kind of unwind and then grind back in.
If there's going to be a race to win, 1 at Silverstone, but 2 right before the break, that you can now, instead of celebrating and you go right to another race week, you can celebrate for a solid, just straight 7 days.
I'm worried he's going to gain like 90 pounds of alcohol.
Yeah.
He's so worried about his body.
He works out too much.
He did hammer. I don't see many people on the podium drinking the champagne. They spray each other.
Yeah.
He sprayed for a little bit.
He's like, you know what?
Piastri wanted nothing to do with the spraying. You could tell he was still pissed. Lando was just spraying down whoever came up with the Constructors Trophy.
Yeah.
And Hulkenberg's like, no, well, I'm not going to spray anyone. I'll just drink this right now.
Oh.
So,
Team
standing, obviously McLaren way, way, way ahead. And I'll tell you what, I did a little bit of math before this show. If you take the bottom 7 teams, 4 through 10, and add them all together, McLaren has more points than them.
Wow.
If you take teams 2 and 3 and add them together, they have more points than them together. If you take all 9, they don't have as many as them.
Okay. Well,
So, I did fun statistics that you can make it sound as good as you want it to.
I know we're at the halfway point and anything can happen, but
I'll tell you what can't happen.
do you see anybody catching them at all?
I mean, they can have like 5 races in a row where they both DNF.
Yep.
And they're going to still be dominating, not just leading.
And that's never going to happen. And they're going to always be in the top 6.
Yeah, top.
I mean, I would maybe even say 5,
If
4.
they're out of the 5, one of them out of the 5, like when Norris had the DNF, it's shocking.
Yes.
As shocking as Kicksauber in 6th place now. They're always in 10th. Always, always, always in 10th. They were in 9th place ahead of Alpine, who's been terrible except Gasly this week. They leapfrogged 3 teams. Well, Nico leapfrogged 3 teams this week from 9th to 6th. And you said that Williams, last week, you said Williams is going to finish 5th. They can't go to 4th. They can't go to 6th. They're stuck. They're for sure in 5th. 18 points back, Kicksauber.
Yep.
Can they pass Williams?
I'm going to be going for it, unfortunately. I said I didn't think Williams – I kind of want Williams to finish 5th. Carlos Sainz hasn't been again, It's hard because we had a rain race, but Sainz hasn't been showing up. I'm full Kick Sauber now. Let's go, Gabriel Bortoleto. Let's go, more importantly, Nico Hulkenberg.
This show's going long, and I know that, but I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm giving Nico all the love he deserves. What about this? Okay, I know you're a Haas guy. My son Liam loves Haas. I think it's just because he knows how much I hate him. And he's loyal, and I loved him last year, and he doesn't like to change stuff like that. Haas kicks him off the team, basically. Don't you want Haas to finish 10th and Kick Sauber to finish 5th so that you got rid of Nico and you're now the worst team and they're one of the top 5 as opposed to the other 5?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what I want. I'm trying to project what I want, and I want you to want it too.
I want him to finish 5th now.
Okay, you don't worry about the demise.
The
of
Haas
other
thing doesn't
teams.
bug me at all. So
It bugs me because I have Haas gear that I can't wear anymore.
Yeah, well, you don't have Kick Sauber gear because it's going to be Audi Sauber
I
next
know.
year. So
I
why?
bought something for this year alone, but I'm cheap, so next year I'm going to be Audi Saubered up.
All right, last thing we're going to talk about. The
livery?
livery. It looked fantastic.
Livestock.
In the sun, this thing looked great.
Problem was we didn't have a lot of that.
No, we didn't. But I love it when they do this. Keep doing it.
Who designs these, by the way? Do you have
Livery.
any idea?
I think it's Livery Guy. I have no idea.
But every now and then, their car is already so cool. McLaren has by far the coolest colors. Side note, we started a business, and the main color of our business, we wanted to be McLaren orange.
Yes, it is papaya.
Because it's such a great
pops.
great color. And then they have the chrome wheels, and then they add this silver. Now, I don't need the MasterCard logo there. But regardless.
Well, that's a big sponsor.
I know.
So is Google.
All the sponsors are going to be there. I get it. But I just, it's beautiful. So that should probably be all that we talk about.
We're running long. Oh, no, yep. Nico Hulkenberg. Now, I'll tell you this. Actually, I had 3 fans at the camper. 2, one of them was a kid, so I didn't really count him, but he was diehard into it as well. He went on and voted for Nico, and this was usually it's about 20%, and it's the dumbest thing of all time.
Usually the stupid.
It doesn't make any sense.
We hate the driver of the day. No. They never vote the right person.
No, and it's always 20% of the vote. So it's like, oh, who really voted? This was like 63% of the vote. Everybody, it's Nico Hulkenberg. Lando Norris, it's like, yes, you want first. That doesn't matter. Piastri, that doesn't matter. Max Verstappen, coming from 9th to finish 5th, that didn't matter. Nothing really mattered in this race except for this.
Well, and I'll say this: even if it wasn't Nico and it wasn't his first podium ever, anyone going from 19th to the podium.
Yeah.
That's the driver of the day, no matter what the circumstance. But then you add on top of that, this guy's been doing it for 14 years, 15 years, and he's on the podium for the first. God.
So last year, Max Verstappen, 17th to win the race. Huge. This was bigger. For him going 19th to 3rd was bigger. It's Max Verstappen. It's expected. It's Kick Sauber.
Are you trying to make me cry right now?
I'm just saying. This is the biggest moment, I think, of the year. It was my favorite race of the year.
I can't even sit up straight anymore. I'm so excited. I need the Nicky back brace.
I promise you this. I'm just going to make one pick for you for Spa, and it's going to be you're going to pick Nico Hulkenberg in the top 10. You might as well just keep that for the rest of the year.
Spoiler alert, I'm picking him for the top 6.
Oh,
Nico, I love you. And everybody else, love you too.
Follow us on YouTube at the United States of F1 and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at United States F1. Join us next time on USF1. Like and subscribe. Copyright Brugman Media Limited 2025. Love ya.